Now, the dangers of skin bleaching and the benefits of natural skincare cannot be overemphasized. Many people turn to skin lightening products without realizing the serious health risks they carry, from damaging the skin to causing long-term health complications. On the other hand, organic and natural skincare offers safer alternatives that nourish and protect the skin, promoting health over harmful beauty standards. Today on the show, we will be discussing the importance of embracing natural beauty and making better skincare choices. So joining us is Ruqayya Tofa Bashir, the founder of Raw Beauty Africa, a skincare expert who is dedicated to promoting healthy skin over skin lightening. Welcome to this program. Welcome to Daybreak Extra, Ruqayya Tofa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You can see from her skin, Fatima.
It's glowing, and you know, when she came in, I was like, we woke you up from your beauty sleep, because I know that it's very important.
Sleep is very, very important. Yes.
So take us through, what are the major health risks associated with skin bleaching products?
Usually, you know, we have a lot of hyperpigmentation issues on the lower scale, but you know, that can also go up to cancer, that can go up to kidney and liver problems.
That far?
Yes.
Wow.
There's a lot of reports
Chemicals,
with
right?
African doctors, you know, giving us hint that in the next 10 years, a lot of Africans, especially Nigerians, unfortunately, because about 77% of us are bleaching our skin in one way or the other. And it's not just the women, you know. We can talk about why they're bleaching their skin. You know, black skin is very prone to trauma, is very prone to dark pigmentation. Whether you have a wound, whether you're suffering from acne, whether you're sunburnt, a lot of us do not go out and use sunscreen. Sunscreen, you know, that information is just coming to us where we know now that we need to have sunscreen. You know, we have very busy lives. A lot of people are exposed to the sun constantly, consistently. So these are also dangers that bring about skin cancer. So yeah, so those are the main things that are the, you know, what we should really be knowledgeable about and try to protect ourselves against. And skin bleaching products, of course, you know, bring about this kind of issues faster. Yeah.
Okay, so your brand is known for natural skincare products. So now, what are some effective natural ingredients for skincare, and how can they be incorporated into daily routines? Like, if you have a client now, how do you go about it?
So we say we're natural, but we're more of plant-based. Because natural, you know, when you talk about natural skincare, you know, there are different segments of what natural could be. There are ingredients such as, for example, niacinamide, which is a natural ingredient, but it could have been made in the lab. There are ingredients that are derived from natural resources. For example, like maybe kojic acid, which is a brightening ingredient that most products might include, you know, which is derived from like sugar cane. But it can cause a lot of brightening. So it has undergone through different processes. So it's kind of a natural but chemical, you know. So we have those kind of ingredients. But on the natural side, on the raw side, we have products like ingredients like, you know, your shea butter, your moringa oil, your coconut oil, those kind of things. So with Raw Beauty, we mix the two together. So we are targeting skin problems. So for example, you're coming to us with acne. We might mix like something like watermelon seed oil or marula oil, for example, that is very light and sinks into the skin and doesn't cause clogging of the pores, but we might mix that with maybe salicylic acid, which helps to target acne and inflammation, you know. So those are what we do. So our products are a bit more advanced, because when you're talking about just the natural aspect of it, it might not actually be that effective in solving your problem. So for example, you're walking around with hyperpigmentation and you're using just shea butter. It's going to make your hyperpigmentation more. So you need to also hydrate the skin. You need to have water you know,
So
water ingredients is complicated. So we're going
when you
into
just said shea
formulation.
butter, it actually made me to realize that there are a lot of people that feel using shea butter can actually take their skin back to the normal color that it was
It
before.
can, but not if you're not wearing it during the day and constantly being under the sun. So you might try that solution maybe at night when you have your shower at night. You can have that as a kind of night treatment. But certainly I wouldn't recommend you using it during the day and being up and about in
So
the
for
sun
those-
without any sunscreen.
Yeah, so for those that use it as a body
Body butter.
butter,
Yeah.
is it going to affect them?
It might
If that's what they
it
use
might bring
throughout.
about more sunburn, yes, because oils naturally attract more sun on your skin. For example, you know, we watch movies where maybe Caucasians, when it's summer, they go to the beach, they oil their skin to get tan.
Absorb the sun and all,
So you do also need to balance it up. Like, for example, with us, our body butter is mixed with oils and butter, so it has shea butter in it, but it also has a water content in it. So you're hydrating your skin as well. And then it has other things like aloe vera that soothe the skin. So in case sun is on your skin, it's soothing. You know, so it's something that we shouldn't look at it like a kind of one side or one level thing. Skincare or product formulation has different layers to it, yeah.
So let's talk about sustainability and ethical skincare, which your brand is very much considerate about. How can individuals make sustainable and eco-friendly choices when it comes to skincare products and practices?
So the first thing we try to educate our community about is really knowing your skin type. A lot of us do not know what our skin type is. If your skin is oily, if it's combination skin, if you have dry skin, you know, what type of skin do you have? And most of the time when we ask people, they seem to think that we're talking about skin tone. So there's this lack of information where Nigerians especially feel like when you ask them about skin, it's about the color of their skin, not about how their skin functions. So that's the first thing that people need to do. And then obviously we also lack the culture of going for consultation when it comes to our skin, seeking for an esthetician or a dermatologist or something with knowledge of skin to try and deal with your issues. Then sustainability also comes in, you know, the processes, looking at the brands of products that you're using. You know, are they clean products or are they not clean? Do they use a lot of synthetics? Do they follow, what kind of regulation do they follow? Are they NAFDAC certified? Are they EU certified? Do they test their products when they're making these? So all that comes to the sustainability of, you know, skincare and skincare practices. So knowing your skin type, knowing the kind of products you are using, you know, we have to be very informed about what we put on our skin. It's the same as being informed about what you eat. You can't just grab anything and just you're good to go, because we know that there are effects that might come in later that might cause some detriments to your health.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually driven by a lot of things I see youth do these days, you know, when we see them out there. So why do you think many young people, especially youths, actually still turn to skin lightening despite knowing the dangers that it comes with?
I feel like a lot of people do not actually know or understand the
There are a lot of
dangers.
people that want to have light skin because, you
Yes.
know, I think the mentality of men.
What pressure comes with it?
Men,
Yes.
I feel,
Yes.
you know that
So
mentality
there's
of a lot of men.
There's a cultural thing, and then, you know, of light is better than dark, which I feel like boils a lot down to self-worth, knowing your self-worth. So that's one issue, that's one root cause. A lot of Black people do not know their self-worth. There's, you know, history of colonialism and all of that where you feel like the white is better.
Yeah, better
you
than-
know, there's also culture in terms of even things that we're fed with, movies, music videos, you know, all this culture where you see that there are cultures from other parts of the world that are coming to us that we're kind of buying into, and so you're being subjected to fairer looking people all the time. If we're watching movies, it's coming from the US, or it's Indian movies, or it's Arab movie. So your idea of what beauty is
those
the
people
actors,
that you
the
see.
actresses,
Yeah.
is from what you see. So we need to make sure that from our side we're putting out more content that really like highlights that black is beautiful. So that content needs to be intentionally out there for our people to consume and to be able to understand, okay, black is beautiful. And then aside from that, what we see also from our line of work is, a lot of our people have hyperpigmentation issues. They have acne. A lot of Nigerians have acne problems. So in trying to deal with the dark spots of the acne, a lot of people go into buying bleaching products just to get rid. So not really understanding what their skin needs. I dealt about lack of consulting with professionals.
Yeah, dermatologists and the rest,
So that also, we see a lot of people going into skin bleaching because they actually have skin problems, not because they want to become fair or because they feel like if they are not fair, they won't get a husband.
Well, because I've seen actually a lot of times where people will say, I prefer a fairer lady, and then it makes the darker ones to actually change their skin
That's
tone.
the number one factor.
And it affects the dark, it's different for sunburn and bleaching on a fairer person, and it's different for a dark-skinned person. So what are the long-term risks involved in, turning or tuning the color of your skin, especially for a dark person?
I mean, the structure of the skin, melanin is actually there as a function to protect the skin. So when the skin undergoes trauma, melanin, it kind of boosts itself. So that's when the dark pigmentation comes in. But it's actually a result of the skin trying to defend itself. So it's actually a positive thing. It's something that, let's say, is supposed to protect the skin. So we view it as something that is bad, but it's actually something that is good for the skin ultimately. So the risk of that, I don't know. Your question again.
What are the long-term risks for those that bleach their skin? Aside from, we know that there's cancer.
Yes, there's cancer. Yeah. And also, I think ultimately, it's how you feel about yourself, your confidence. And if you don't have the self-worth and the confidence to know that you shouldn't be just taking your health for granted, so this is the main thing. And it's something that continuous education by all parties need to, continuous education about self-worth, about black is beautiful, and then also information that you can get cancer from it, you can have liver problems like I talked about, kidney problems, aside from that, even like the smell of your body changes, you start having body odor, there are all these issues.
Some terrible smell that the ones you just
I wanted to ask her, Fatima, I was like, is it true that people that bleaches
they smell?
Yes.
They smell?
Yeah.
Wow.
So because the skin is not able, you are actually destroying your skin and all the protection that it has. So the skin is not able to breathe properly.
I'm sorry, I'm disgusted by the I don't know how to control the fact that the smell, because I've actually come close.
By naysayers saying, oh, they smell just to get to them or something. It's really true.
I've been
you are literally destroying the structure of your skin. So,
just
and
look
then
at that on the screen.
The skin becomes very, very thin,
And there are hard parts that you definitely, no matter how much you try to bleach, it cannot bleach. But, for the face, it's even very sophisticated, it's very soft, but still people bombard them with chemicals that are not supposed to be there. So I was telling you, there was a time I actually came close to someone that was smelling, and that was when I knew that it's actually bleaching cream, the onion smelly kind of
smell.
Something of that
when
nature.
You take your bath and put all the colognes
I can't just
from all
explain
the
it.
chemicals, because for example, EU regulations with all the ingredients, they're like proportions of how. So you might have like kojic acid, for example, which is like you can't use it more than at 1% in your formulation. But there are others that are even completely banned, like steroids, mercury, hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is something that you have to use it when you have like severe hyperpigmentation, and it's under the consultation and the advice of the doctor. So you're working with the doctor, dermatologist, to use this ingredient, but people just buy it off the counter.
They abuse it.
And in other countries, you know, you can never, Nigeria has become like a breeding ground for substandard products. Anything anybody has can just, you know, the country is just filled with substandard products, and you can even go to some markets and people are mixing things.
Yes.
They have no idea.
I mean, we have lots of vendors, especially on social media. They just mix things and sell them.
Different creams.
You know, we have lots, hundreds of them, mixing things, bringing this cream, bringing this soap, like just mix everything, and Nigerians buy.
Yeah, but
In large
ultimately, I
numbers.
think it has to start with your self-worth, that you're not just so desperate to just do anything to become fairer.
Oh wow!
You know.
So
Yeah.
you talked about, you mentioned earlier that what we eat actually affects our skin. So how can lifestyle factors such as diet, hydration, and stress management impact skin health? And what recommendations do you have for optimizing these factors?
Well, the first thing you mentioned, sleep, which is
Very important.
Which is very, very important. You know, sleep helps the body to rejuvenate itself and for your cells to be functioning properly. So sleep is ultimately a very important thing. We should be getting 8 hours of sleep. If you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, at least try 6 to 7 hours.
Please, what will happen if I have more than 8 hours of sleep? Will anything happen? Will anything
No,
change?
nothing will happen,
Okay.
but you might start getting lazy. So we're trying to balance it, you know.
Yeah.
But 8 hours of sleep ideally, you know, and then of course, you know, eating right. So even, for example, people come with us with acne, and we also say, you know, in Nigeria, for example, we have all the plant resources. This is why my brand started, because of all the plant resources around us. For example, our lifestyle, we eat a lot of sugar. So for example, we have this wonderful plant, hibiscus, called zobo.
Yeah.
Everybody has zobo drink, but everybody puts so much sugar in it. So the sugar also is one of the catalysts for acne. So you'll see that even people with acne, if they go off sugar, the acne will definitely reduce.
Very correct.
So you're drinking zobo, which is this plant that helps to detoxify the body. It's anti-inflammatory. It has a lot of vitamin C, you know, in it. It's so good for the body, but then you're putting so much sugar in it. So there's no point even drinking.
So when you
the
say
zobo.
sugar, you're talking about natural things that we take. But how about, does that have to do with chocolates, for those that eat chocolates?
So
for
cocoa
those that
is
eat,
good.
Yeah.
We know it
But
has a lot
because
of
there's sugar
vitamin
also,
B in it.
yeah.
But you mix it with sugar. But why not? Like I buy chocolate that has, it's 70% dark. So most of it is the cocoa, but then it's sweetened with dates instead of sugar.
Yeah.
So things like that. So health conscious choices. You know, if you're doing your zobo, mix it with orange juice or pineapple juice, you know, or mix it. We even have stevia, which is a plant, but it's
that's
sweet,
sugary,
you know, and it grows in Nigeria, but nobody
We have it at home
processes
too.
it.
Nobody uses it.
Nobody uses it.
We
Nobody
actually,
processes it.
I was surprised when I saw that my mom was saying we can actually use this instead of sugar. I was like, I have not been taking sugar
Yes,
for a very long time.
like
now, so.
baobab, kwalba in my language, Hausa, you know, it tastes really amazing
Nice,
with honey.
yes.
Really amazing with honey. But you know how we mix it traditionally and culturally, we'll just load it with sugar.
Yeah.
So those healthier choices, you know, if you're having rice is good, but not too much of it, because obviously the glycemic index, we have a lot of diabetes, people with diabetes and all of this. So why not use acha instead of rice? Why not use wheat, cracked wheat? Make brabusco or something like that.
Well, Kanuri lady, she said brabusco. Go ahead.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's also bulgur. In Arab, they use it a lot. It's the same thing. You can even make jollof bulgur. I make it. It tastes wonderful. How people love rice, but just you know, calm down with the rice.
But you're not talking about rice. There are actually blood types that their food is actually rice, and then other things that comes with, like maybe liver, kidneys, that they can actually eat. as maybe B positive or B negative. Like different blood groups actually have certain types of food that they eat. Yeah.
So we should maybe be more informed about maybe our blood type.
And to know what to consume.
In the Western world, they're even doing DNA testing to see what you are talking about, what your blood type is, even as far as your DNA, what kind of diseases you might be prone to, so that you know the kind of diet you should be having. A lot of them also, these wellness clinics, advise on Mediterranean diet, so more of like lettuce, salads, more of like olive oil, more of fish,
sesame oil,
a lot of fish,
and the rest,
fish, cut down on the beef. Don't eat too much red meat. I mean, even our religion tells us not to eat too much meat. So those kind of practices. And then now, you also have to be conscious about how the meat is being reared. A lot of the animals are getting fed, GMO foods and all of this. So, if you can go organic, that's probably best. But organic, I know it's not a sustainable or very realistic way, because it's very expensive.
So I wanted to ask this very important question, because like we rightly mentioned earlier, the movies, the music that we watch and everything. What role does the beauty industry play in encouraging or discouraging bleaching practices?
So I can't speak for the whole industry, but Nigeria, for example, what we're doing, we do a lot. If you go to our page, Raw Beauty Africa, we do a lot. I've done a lot of talks. They've been featured on blogs and everything about the dangers of skin bleaching. And I try to do them in Hausa because,
definitely,
this is
to
my
reach
side
out
of the world,
so
that it's very understandable and clear. And then beyond that, like we said, we have consultations. We try to really advise customers when they come to our page, because they would come to our page and just say, I want the glow soap. Anything with glow on it. That's what they want.
Women,
they want to glow.
That glows,
So we have to take them back and actually understand what their skin type is. If they have an acne problem, there's no point giving them a glow soap, for example. So we give them a detox soap, because we make them understand you have to get rid of the acne first before you start working on the hyperpigmentation. So education, more obviously people in the beauty brand owners and companies, beauty companies, need to actually put education at the forefront of what they're doing. So educate the communities, educate the society on the ills. I think every beauty founder has this obligation. So long as they're not doing bleaching products, of course. If they're doing natural skincare, it's very important. So for us, like, we've even formed like an African Botanics Beauty Association, where we're like becoming an association now. All the beauty brands that are into natural skincare, we're coming under one umbrella. We're doing things like adverts to just put education out, because ultimately our competition are the bleaching. Is the bleaching industry. So our competition, we understand that we're not actually each other's competition. This is the elephant in the room that we're
because
trying
it's been
to...
there for decades and
it's
years,
so
it's definitely going to take time.
They
outnumber them.
So it's more right now about just getting the information out there, just like we're doing right now. And hopefully, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but hopefully in the near future, we can get somewhere.
So in 1 minute, this is on a personal note about Raw Africa. You grow plants.
Yes.
You have a whole farm for skincare. I don't know how to put it, but a plant for skincare.
We also have
is it that
like
is it that you don't get this plant elsewhere? You just get them only in your farm, or how is it? How do you do it?
No, obviously we cannot grow everything that we use, but there are certain things. For example, hibiscus, which is a very important plant for us. All our products contain hibiscus oil or hibiscus powder, hibiscus in some form. We also make hydrosols from it. So the water part of our formulations usually is not really water, it's a hydrosol, which means it has more antioxidants in it and it can cause better repair for the skin. So yeah, why we started the farm was actually because you know, we source these ingredients usually. We extract them ourselves. So like for the hibiscus seeds, we'll extract and we'll get the oil, and it goes into maybe our cream, our serum, and all of that. But it's only in Nigeria that you buy something today and tomorrow the cost has gone up. You know? So it's really in trying to protect our customers, where they're not coming every 3 months and our prices have gone up, you know, and also making sure that they're organic, which means they are not from GMO GMO seeds, you know, just making sure that they are the cleanest that we can find. So we've chosen a few plants like the hibiscus, moringa, castor, that we've started growing things like peppermint, turmeric we're testing this year to see, because we have teas as well that's supposed to cleanse you from the inside. We also make hydrosols, like I said, so we're going into essential oils which come with hydrosols, like the process of making them, which means even the scent, we're not using fragrance, because we know fragrance is something that is a very bad ingredient, especially when you're using it in proportions that you're not supposed to be using it. But you know, our people, they like the smell. So customers might be like, oh yes, this isn't smelling so like powerful, but it's because we're considerate about your health. You know, we're not using ingredients that are going to destruct your hormones. You know, there's other issues that come into the skin bleaching thing, or using ingredients that are toxic, you know, like infertility. All of these things come into hair loss, you know, PCOS,
hormonal imbalances.
You know, yes, that we're seeing a lot of these days.
So you know, we just talked about you advocating for organic, you know, products.
We don't even say organic, by the way.
You have a word you use for it now.
We use plant-based.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Plant-based. Nice.
Plant-based.
I think
because organic, I feel like the word, you know,
it's been abused.
It's been abused, and it has like a bad.
Because no matter how organic it is, there's something that makes it a bit different.
This is the marketing and beauty industry. You can have an ingredient at like 0.00%. 0.001, but you can put it boldly on the top of your thing and say it includes a natural ingredient. You know, it can just include the minimal ingredient in your formulation, but you can highlight that there are no policies or regulations in that industry when it comes to labeling. You know, so you can do that, and it's very, very misleading for consumers. You know?
So what I'm just trying to, you know, tie it down to what Very Dark Man has done initially, you know, when it started and coming out some you know, skin products like the Jenny's Globe when it started and stuff like that. Do you feel he's doing what the government should do to regulate the harmfulness of
you know, that whole movement was good. It was very good for us because we tried to make sure that we do all the right things. So it brought emphasis to brands like ours, definitely, you know, but at the same time, it also made NAFDAC stand up on its feet. Like, okay, we really have to. And at some point, NAFDAC was really coming down on these kind of products. Now it's kind of quietened down. But at the time, you know, there was a whole movement about it. So I feel like we talked about earlier, it has to be a continuous thing from everybody. You know, so let's not allow this knowledge to kind of die down, and then everybody just goes back to business as usual. Let's try to keep. So what you're doing now, for example, it's important that more and more people start talking about this, and it becomes normal where everywhere you go. Like, I want it to become, even when you are reaching out for that bleaching product, people are like, what? You know, are you sure you're getting that? So, but I feel like we'll get there definitely.
Gradually.
Talking about going there in the future, what's the future? What do you feel, or what's your wish for the future of the plant-based products like yours?
For us to set up proper industry in Nigeria, I would like Nigeria to be known for its clean beauty industry, definitely. We've been working very hard, like I talked about the association. There are many brands I could mention, but I don't want to mention one and I don't mention all, you know, but there are brands that are really, really trying to do the right thing by their customers. And we're going to be exhibiting, we have bought paid for a booth at the Beauty West Africa expo that is happening. It happens in Lagos, so it's the biggest beauty expo in West Africa, and many West African countries come in also with their products, but we're trying to establish a clean beauty conversation. So even during the conference, we're going to have a clean beauty panel session where we talk about what we've talked about today, just to make sure that information is going to people and
create awareness.
And people are realizing that when you do start, there's no shame in it, because people start for different reasons. You know, there's no shame in it, but what you need to understand is once you realize that this is going to affect your health, you should stop it, and then you should reach out to a professional, either a dermatologist, an esthetician, or whoever, you know, somebody, a beauty founder, you know, just ask for advice on how to stop.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ruqayya Tofa Bashir, for taking out your time to be with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, our melanin skin is what makes us as Africans very
black is
unique.
Beautiful, and I'm, you know, proud of my skin.
That's the uniqueness of being an African.
Oh, thank you, by the way, for a skin expert to say that. I'm impressed. She's hyped. I'm hyped, actually.
Yeah,
thank you. Well, she's the founder of Raw Beauty Africa, and definitely a skin care expert. And I'm sure that you've learned one or two things from this, you know, discussion.